I'm a senior.
You need a little.
This is the first time we ever did that. Where are we?
We're at the Hugh John Fleming Center.
You think the snob's going to be ready for that?
I don't care. You're coming in with me.
Well, that should be good.
Just a second, I gotta find my pass. Maybe my pass don't work.
Maybe they're just temporary anyway. It's called a temporary pass
Might not
because.
be here long, but they'll know I was here.
Well,
while I was
that's
here.
not only you. That's all politicians.
Great.
See, my camera broke. I gotta go like this to see. I can see what I'm doing. Okay, never been here. First time. Now, see, we got another politician. We had Dorothy Shepherd. A few weeks ago, we had Ted Fleming.
You'll have to tell me that.
Now we got you. Somebody just saw us and said, "What the hell?"
They say that. They say that about me.
Everybody's looking. Look! Everybody's staring. Say, "What the hell?" Call the police.
Got a therapy dog.
Therapy. Yes, therapy dog. That should be good. How you doing?
Showing some new folks around.
Doing good? First time here. First time.
Charles, he's gonna come in and see me. So.
I never seen bureaucrats move so fast in all my life.
Since I seen you, I used to work downtown. I saw you almost every day.
Where's that?
I used to manage the Snooty Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I used to see you downtown quite often. We had a couple chats down there.
I'm one of those ones that don't have a life. That was a long time, 12 years ago.
I don't think you had a dog then.
No. He belongs to next door to a dentist.
Hey, Chris.
That's all I do all day, walk and talk.
He's a great guy. The guy at the front desk there. Yeah. Fisherman too.
Didn't take long for those bureaucrats to come back, but they see us with the dog. the ball or the dog.
When I come through the door, they scatter too. Don't worry about that.
That's too funny. Who was the old minister? Franklin, or he wasn't, did he not?
Betty Laundry. See, they combined with me. They gave me energy and natural resources.
Well, these are the maps of
Whole bunch of forest maps.
forest map. What, you mean there's forest left?
You'll be pleasantly surprised when I show you some of this stuff. Come on in here, Georgie. Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. That's a nice picture.
Hey.
Hey, you.
Picked up a buddy on the way.
Oh my God, it's a puppy.
How you doing? Yeah, you want to see the puppy? There's the puppy.
I'm all about the puppy.
Oh yeah, everybody wants.
Is it friendly?
Oh yes. Shelly's dog. He belongs to Shelly and the dentist. 5 kids. D.O.G. his name.
D-O-G?
Yeah, sad name for a dog.
Georgie.
D-O-G.
D-E-O-G-Y.
Well, up.
Okay.
Come on in. This is home.
Oh, let him loose. D.O.G.,
Yeah, he can go do whatever he wants.
you be a good boy. You just.
I'm gonna show you some of the stuff.
There we go. Go ahead. Oh,
Come have a look.
there
here.
we go. Oh. I tell you, later time, you got a lot of stuff to get rid of. Okay.
The only minister that brought his own taxidermy into the office. Look at that.
What's that?
It's wild turkey. I mounted it.
How many wild turkeys is there in New Brunswick now? They started to come back.
Thousands there now. Yeah.
Why?
Well, basically, they're right beside the state of Maine.
Yeah, but don't coyotes or...
Oh yeah, they're an animal that faces predation. Like coyotes would be probably the main predator that's there. But look what they got on the end of their, those are spurs right there. Those are fairly big animals. They're beautiful though. And then I make, I don't waste a whole lot. See, I even make arrow fletchings out of the turkey feathers.
Yeah, really. Look at that. You got a bow and arrow home?
Yep. And that's I got my nicest deer up there.
So when you came here, did you see a picture? Did he had something?
Never had anything, no. Denis was one of the good ones. He was a great guy.
Yeah. Oh, still is. Does he decide he went? Yeah, never mind that.
See this stuff? There's bear skull, and my moose. I brought in all my own taxidermy.
Wow, look at that. So you are truly a natural minister. Oh my God, there's some forest left.
We got all kinds. You want to see some of those?
It's funny when I mention that, how you take a deep breath. Okay.
I do want to show you some stuff. I mean, you probably want to do an official interview, but let me show
No,
you. a
no,
couple
this
things.
is an official interview. This is it. I don't have my stand, but
We're recording there now?
we are recording. We're on.
I was
No,
driving.
the sun. Let's nothing confidential here.
No, no. See, this is a map that I got my department to do up for us. Because when I was driving through, I've driven all through the province of New Brunswick, and I said, I want to see what the province looks like, what the woods look like in fall colors.
Well, you are the minister, and the bureaucrats will say, yes, minister, no problem.
So what they did is with the mapping of the forest that we've done, they put together a map for me that shows what New Brunswick looks like in fall colors. See this orange? That's all our hardwood that turns color. The purple is our Acadian mixed forest, all through. And the green is the more soft. That's hardwood dominated in yellow, and green is more softwood dominated. So there's a lot of raw materials to work with.
What's the orange? Oh, that's the orange leaves. And
Yeah, that surprised me actually. And as I said, you just hold the camera right there. I'll show you another one. This here's a map. And I don't know how well this is gonna come off on your blog or not, but the green, see the green speckles? That's what the young hardwood was that we had in the 1980s in New Brunswick. See the yellow? That's the young hardwood we have now in the 80s, or in the 2010s. So we've got the same amount of hardwood in the province now. A little bit of a different distribution than we had in the 80s.
what's the?
This right here, see, we talk about Crown land a lot, right?
Yes.
And the cutting and stuff on Crown land. These areas here, right here, here, and here, primarily, there's I think about 67% of the clear cuts in the province are in that area, and that's all private land. It's not Crown land.
It's not Crown land.
No, the only Crown land pieces where we have a footprint is only 13% of Crown land is in plantation right now.
So what was the big deal about the Forestry Act?
In 2014?
Yes.
Well, you want my opinion? Well, I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah, you were involved.
I was there. I was an executive
You were an executive assistant.
Yeah, no, I was, and I don't think it was rolled out very well. I don't think it was communicated very well, and I think the other thing is that conservation groups weren't allowed to be a part of it.
I remember David Cohn hauled me from the street, and it was before he was an MLA, and we met at Tim Horton, and they were to make the announcement at the convention center.
I was there, yeah.
And I showed up, and David was really, really worried. And there was a lot of bureaucrats there when he show up. And next thing you know, who I see, what's her name again? Oh my God, I didn't know. Mary Irving, J.D. Irving, spokesperson.
Oh, Keith, Mary Keith.
Mary Keith. I said, how's it going? She looked at me and then, and I really didn't click on, but who showed up? J.D. Irving.
Jim, yeah.
Jim, or I call him James. Anyway, there's Jim, there's James,
JK.
and
there's
Jamie.
Yeah.
So Jamie is a little bit. So anyway, he came right to me. Charles LeBlanc, how you doing? I said, James, for you to acknowledge me first in front of all these people, this must be big, huge. And then that's where Puzzlerby Show the week after.
Yeah, the minister.
And
yeah.
David Howard, for the listen to me, will still be premier at Showgas. They had him on their shoulders at the paper mill in St. John.
Yeah.
They were heroes. So this was all forestry and urban, never private lot, private, what do you call them?
Private wood lot owners. But see,
Exactly.
that's the issue I had with it, is that it was geared exclusively towards one segment of the forestry management. But what we're doing now is I've made a couple of announcements. So this is what we have here, right here. We've got some pretty good raw material to work with, right? Even all the green, that's not all plantation. That's softwood. We have softwood stands throughout the province of New Brunswick. The clear cuts are focused like you saw on that other map, and there's a couple of spots there. But only 13% of our crown land, which is primarily here, is in a clear cut situation. And what I'm moving towards is that for every 50,000 hectares that we cut, 40,000 of it is grown back in its natural regrowth format, which is food in the fridge for animals. And you see.
But they spray it.
No. Did you hear what I said?
Food for the
Did you hear what I
fridge
said?
and,
Out of 50,000 hectares that are cut,
Yes,
40,000 will grow back and regenerate naturally.
naturally.
Okay? And when we take my last announcement about the doubling the conservation forest,
Yes.
I'm going to be adding 19 Fundy National Park size pieces to the conservation puzzle here. And you see these areas where there's mixed forest? Mm-hmm. If I can add in different areas to that. Now I'm just dotting on there with my fingers, right? Hardwood dominated. The Acadian mixed spots are really good spots to add some conservation area. And then, as you can see, I'm going to work on creating something where, you know, animals can go from Kedgwick down to St. Stephen.
What about spraying?
Well, spraying is
Are you going to say again, spraying? Well, if we do that, we got to do that for the farmers also.
well, that's why what we're doing with our Climate Change and Environmental Stewardship Committee is very important. Because when I see something where somebody says, stop the aerial spraying on Crown land, I'm like, 3 times as much spraying is done on private land. So if you're concerned, yeah, like
Is it?
like I told you, all the clear cuts, there's a lot more clear cuts and plantations on private land than there is.
So how come we don't hear that?
I'll tell you why. In my opinion,
Go ahead.
again, it's my opinion,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you're not going to be forced to resign your position as Minister of Resources.
Well, I've always
for your opinion.
I've always said what I've believed, and I believe that.
In a
when-
minority government, you're safe. Okay. Go
I
ahead.
believe when that plan was rolled out in 2014, it wasn't rolled out in a good fashion. It wasn't explained very properly, and it was one-sided, you know, towards industry. The Conservation Council weren't invited to be there, CPAWS, none of those groups. So as a result, people would drive by a clear cut and see it, and see the spray, and it became something that they equated with that
Urban.
forestry plan. Yeah.
Irving.
Yeah, and it's bigger than that. And what I'm talking about here is I'm using forestry with, I've got 13% of Crown land that's in plantation right now. And so I'm containing industry to a small footprint, and they got to produce the amount to fiber to feed the mills and stuff like that. Because Charles, I don't want to ruin the forestry industry. There's 20,000 people make their living there, right?
Yep.
But if I can contain industry to a small footprint in the province, and then expand conservation, double the conservation area by double it. And then I just made the announcement that in all the Crown land, I'm not going to increase for 5 years. No increase to the cutting on
Yeah, I know.
Crown land.
Higgs told me that.
And then
I wasn't even. I didn't. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then focusing on getting our private woodlots lined up and geared up to come to market.
Let me tell you something. I went somewhere a couple of years ago the first time, and me and Blaine Hayes talk about that. There was a huge clear cutting in that area.
Yep.
And where was I? Where's the place? Oh my God, I'm just tired or getting old. Where's that French place there where they got the big mill? Saint-Quentin.
Yeah.
Saint-Quentin. There's one street light there in Saint-Quentin.
Yeah.
And what's that mill is? What's the name?
Savoy. Group 7.
Savoy. My God, you wouldn't even know that exists because we're so focused on Mr. Irving. That's a huge mill. And you know what? There's hardly anyone on welfare in that area because they work with maple syrup and then they
I
go.
was just up there on Saturday. I mean, it's a thriving area. And see, now what I'm working on doing is taking areas like that. Well, see, maple sugar is a big part of our economy up
Yeah.
there. Let's find opportunities for them. And what a lot of people don't realize is that there's more than one forestry company in the province of
Yes.
New Brunswick.
How many is there? Look at Saint-Quentin. That's a huge one.
Well, I'm going to miss some, but there's
Chipman.
There's Chipman, but I'm talking about companies. There's Fornebu, Chaleur.
Where's that? Point.
Up and around here.
What do you mean around here? Point. You're the minister. You should know.
Well, yeah, but I don't have glasses on. Or
Oh,
anything.
that's right, you don't.
They're up around in the Bathurst area. Then in Saint-Quentin,
Saint-Quentin, yeah.
you've got your Group Savoie. You got
Yeah.
Plaster Rock has Twin Rivers.
Okay.
You got A.V. Nakawik. There's the Irving
Nakawik,
facilities. There's the Delco Grape Mill up in Kent County here somewhere.
Where is there? Is there one there in Kent County?
Kent County, yeah.
And Chipman and St. John.
Yeah, and then
And one in
we have
Lake
Lakeport and
Atopia.
stuff there, yeah. So I mean, we got a bunch of players in the industry, and what I'm committed to is communicating, because, you know, I will admit,
You love to talk, so you love to communicate.
well,
I have to say that.
and I don't mind criticizing my own party.
No, you don't.
And I really feel like we made some errors in judgment when we put the plan together in 2014. So before I ever ran, I came to Higgs and I wrote the stuff into the platform, and then I decided to run. And so, like, this is not a joke to me. I've been living this for years, and there's a plan there where we can continue to keep good paying jobs in our industry, because we don't want those to go home. But for the first time, conservation is sitting at the table, and we're talking about mapping New Brunswick in a way that's good for wildlife, good for protected areas, good for the river systems, because we want to do a lot of work up in the Miramichi River system with
yeah,
this
the
with this
bass
doubling
and
of
all that.
conservation area, the Restigouche water system.
What do
we're
you
gonna-
think? You think they're gonna electrocute the bass?
Well, the DFO's driving, like, that's a federal initiative,
Yeah.
so it's hard to say.
What's that? Is that what's that?
That's the municipality.
That-
The white stuff is cities.
Have you
urban
been?
center.
Have you been between? Have
I
you
been to
been?
where?
Have you been between? Where am I going here? Farrington Junction and St. George.
Yep, I've been on every back road in this province.
That's quite a road here. Where is it? Right there. Right there.
Yep.
Right there. That's in there. And there's an industry in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do you know what it is? I think I emailed you last year. Remember there was a big industry,
There's
big company
yeah.
company in there.
Operating now, or
I
I don't
think
think it's
some-
operating now. Is
No,
it?
what's-
No, I don't know what that was. It was old industry.
Chinese had it or
Yeah.
something.
And then there's good old Albert County, the best part of the province,
Of
right
course.
there.
And that's where you plan. Do you plan?
This is my riding right
Do
here.
you think you're gonna win your nomination meeting this time?
I'm ready to take anybody that wants to come out.
What's his name again?
What's that?
What's his name?
I'll
again?
take anybody that comes
What's
out.
his name again? The one that you.
That I ran against?
No, the one that you ran against.
Brian Kirsten.
Yeah, correct. See, I always forget his
Great
name. So
guy,
he wasn't
yeah.
doing his job
Charles?
if I don't know his name.
Charles, I'm up for a nomination, but I'll tell you what, whoever wants to step in the ring with me, I love this job, and they're gonna have one
Will
hell of a
Brian
fight.
win?
What's that?
Will Brian come back?
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
sure
that
you could-
that ADHD is going.
That's all right.
Listen, what's your opinion on Nova Scotia? What's going on there?
With the
With the native, the paper mill, what's it called?
yeah, the Pictou mill there. Well, we've got supply into that mill. So now I've got to find a supply for, like, there's a bunch of New Brunswick folks that were supplying it. So
Yeah, I hear.
I'm meeting with private woodlot the woodlot boards, and I'm meeting with industry, because there's now fiber that was going down there that we got to find a home for here. So I don't have anything settled or figured out, but I don't know if that's going to open up again. So
No, it won't. Private woodlot owners,
Yeah.
they do a lot of spraying.
they do spraying, yes. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head. But
See, you look Irving, that's all it is. That's just what I
But
think.
it's broader and it's more. And because we did such a poor job communicating it in 2014, everybody brands clear cutting and spraying to one company. And honestly, there's a lot of factors there. And so what we said was spraying is just being discussed on Crown land, but hold on. There's commercial use. There's forestry spraying on private land. There's agricultural use. If there's an issue with this product, then we need to look at it as far as the entire province goes. I consider it to be irresponsible to only say, stop spraying on Crown land. Oh, and stop aerial spraying on Crown land.
You
Come on,
think,
I don't get that.
You think, we know outside there's not much snow this year. This is January, what, 28, 29?
9th or 8th, yeah.
Anyway, do you think that this spring, because of the clear cutting, we're going to have another huge flood?
Well, I mean, I think that we're seeing flood instances happening every year, and we've seen it more. 2010, remember 2010?
Yeah.
When it started down here in Charlotte County?
Yeah.
Now,
2008, when they voted themselves a $6 million raise in your pension. The huge flood.
Holder, we got
Not
no
you.
raise in our pension.
No, but I mean,
We
all-
cut-
David
we cut-
Allward cut
he cut it back,
he
yeah,
cut it
yeah,
back.
yeah.
But that was 2008.
But what?
Sorry, flashback.
So that's one of the things that we're doing on the conservation ground is waterways. You know, right now we've got buffer zones, right? And we say, here's a 30-meter buffer zone, so that's great. Well, I don't like the idea of an arbitrary buffer zone. Some spot, maybe a 30-meter one's good, but maybe it needs to be 500 meters.
Yeah.
depending on the sensitivity of the area, runoff or whatever. So,
I'm told Irving is cutting in the buffer zone.
well, no, my staff has been directed that any time and every time you find that, it's been brought to my attention, and it's not. You say Irving, you gotta understand. There's more forestry than just Irving, and
Yeah.
if anybody cuts in the buffer zone, we'll deal with it and have dealt with it. I'd like to take and make the fines for cutting in a buffer zone. Like, for example, if I go into a buffer zone and cut, then the fine's got to be worth more than the wood
Oh,
I can
yeah,
take
of course,
out. No,
of course.
so there's some things we can do there, but creating those buffer zones and making them make sense is going to go a long ways towards that. The other thing is, what we got to watch is that up through the St. John River system in Quebec, yeah, like depends on the winter they have up there, depends on some of the flood season we have here too. So
And then I hear, I don't know if you could is that your county? No, where the flood is always there, the Trans-Canada Highway.
hey, is Larry here? Okay.
Okay, so you have the flood at Trans-Canada Highway.
In Sheffield there.
And I hear somebody told me that they take, a Dutch said, listen, that's like a dike.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of the reasons of the floods, because it
Well,
jams the
didn't
water.
somebody have an idea about raising one side of that?
Yeah, no, I didn't
I
get
heard
into it.
something there,
I didn't
yeah.
get into it, but I mean, stuff like that, it's like, and then the clear cutting.
Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take and put 540,000 hectares, new hectares, into conservation in New Brunswick. And here's what I'm doing that was never been done. I'm meeting with the Conservation Council, First Nations, CPAWs, birding societies, the conservation groups. Instead of being ignored, they're at the table helping me identify where the sensitive
How can you
areas
keep your
are.
mouth shut and listen?
What's that?
How can you keep your mouth shut and listen? You
Oh.
smoke some marijuana, taste some Ritalin, what are you gonna do?
No, you don't want to see. I would never want to. I would never want to drug myself. I don't know what we'd get. But
Same here.
when I'm sitting talking with people like Lois
I
Corbett
just
or
mean-
Roberta Chloe, like I'm meeting with some people that know their stuff, and I've said, can you please help me? Can you please help us map this out?
Did you
that-
sit down like this, what we're doing, with David Kuhn?
I would. These maps are fairly new. I will.
Oh,
I
is
hope
it?
to. Yeah. Yeah. This
You'll
is an
bring
idea.
David
This
Kuhn
is an
here.
idea. I would absolutely. I
And
had
say-
him in here last week.
Did you?
But this is an idea. This map is an idea I had. I was driving one day, and I was looking at leaves turning color, and I said, I want to see a map of what it looks like, because at 30,000 feet, I've been in clear cuts before, and sometimes so I said I don't want to look at it from ground level. I want to look at it from
And the yellow is the softwood, the
hardwood. Yellow is hardwood dominated. So, purple is Acadian mixed forest, and hardwood softwood,
Yeah, the yellow.
hardwood softwood, and then this is where's the key?
Yeah, where's-
Actually, where is it? Okay, hardwood. Okay, 70% hardwood or more is the orange. Yellow is the wetlands. Sorry, Charles, wetlands.
Yellow is
Yellow is wetlands.
Oh, yellow is wetlands. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of raw material we can work with here. And when I hear people say, and I said it for years, there's not a tree left in New Brunswick. Well, no, there is. And now we have to be smart with it, and we got to use this conservation mechanism that I've got. You got to use it smart. But when we're done, our protected natural areas, remember the 14 plan? It took protected natural areas down to 23%.
Not that educated, but okay.
Well, I was there through it all. When we finish this at the end of 2020, those protected natural areas go back up to 28%.
Okay.
Is it perfect? No. And I mean, I never claim to be perfect with this, but we're moving the needle in the right direction for
How come
conservation.
there's so much Deer Island? I went there a few times. There's
Yeah.
a lot of still some trees left and Ramadan. You know what I'm afraid of? I mean, this is just a little zing. I'm afraid. I think J.K. Irving is holding it a little bit back, and once he leaves us, J.D. Irving is the new king. I think really.
Well,
Does Irving really have an influence there? Okay, well, like you said earlier, maybe the fine is not big enough.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at all that kind of stuff. Accountability through forestry management, for sure. And like I said, I don't have all the answers, but in the last year, we've been able to double the conservation forest to bring the protected natural areas back up to 28%, hold the cutting on Crown land for 5 years, focus on the private woodlot owners, and put a plan together with the conservation groups and First Nations to
First
actually.
Nation, there's a secret right there.
What's that?
First Nation, there's a secret right there.
Yeah, and,
So
and
it's not possible that the Crown land, maybe they went overboard a little bit, then you say, okay, hold it, we gotta stop. Now we're gonna go to the private owners, and then they'll take over the same amount of the log truck we see on the road. We see a lot.
well, I think what it is I think that we didn't balance the communication on our
Communication again.
on our 13% footprint for Crown land in plantation. We can grow enough wood on that we can grow more wood than we need for industry on that.
How long it takes to grow so they cut again? 20 years?
No, I think it's more like 30.
Is it 30?
More like 30.
Listen.
But if we rotate that, and we can then, and if I can contain Crown land use for forestry to 13%, and then expand conservation to the other area. The other thing is, if I stop spraying tomorrow, let's just say stop spraying tomorrow, then instead of it being a smaller footprint, the footprint of forestry expands through the province. And I don't want to do that either. I'd like to be able to feed industry through a smaller footprint. And I mean, and I'm meeting with my department, working through stuff, and I've had the Stop Spraying New Brunswick in my office 2 or 3 times. The conservation groups have a revolving door to come in, and we're going to try to do this right.
I was in Batters last week, seen a lot of log trucks.
So was I.
Where are they going?
What's that?
Where are they going in Batters?
I don't know. Is it Crown land? Is it private land?
No, I mean, see all these
studwood? Is it?
log trucks are all, they're all going like crazy.
How big was the wood?
Big, about, they'll say about 3-4 feet.
Wide?
Yeah.
Well, stuff like that's going to 3 or 4 feet wide.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You're talking
Yeah,
stud.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's probably going to a stud mill. Softwood stud mill.
Where is it? There was a lot of trucks, man. I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a video. I don't know where they're going, but they're going. Okay, somebody wants to see.
Yeah, I got another meeting there, man.
And let me just take a picture, and there she. That's the second one.
Yeah, second time.
They
You're done.
know because they know you love to talk, so
Yeah.
they have to say, "Come on, stop it." Listen, hey, this was different.
I always want to be the minister that is considered different.
Stop your ass kissing. Okay, thank you very much.
That was a compliment to me, not you. Don't worry.